Hello and welcome to another episode of Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is Bryan Steele, and I will be your nerd today and every other day that you watch one of my silly little shows. All right, so real quick, I'm having kind of a weird. I don't know if it's going to translate into the video, but there seems to be a tiny, like, less than a second lag between my microphone and my camera. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I've rebooted a couple of times and it's still doing it, but I did not want to cancel today on account of technical difficulties. So let's get into it. Um, Week in Bryan. Week in Bryan. It has been a great week. Um, Personally slash like family life stuff. Um, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but some kid stuff happens. Being a parent, that kind of stuff comes and goes. Um, Both of my kids had some speed bumps this week, but we got through it and came out on the other side. Obviously, fine. I'm not here telling you that one of my kids is sick or that I've got them in a cage in the basement. Kidding. I don't have a basement. No, double kidding. I do have a basement, but no kids in cages. Um, but yeah, so other than that, a couple of little growing up teenager speed bumps. Um, on a other level, my lovely wife and I have rearranged some of my schedule. So every other week, I'm gonna start going to a local trivia night. I am kind of a font of useless knowledge. So we'll see. We'll see how that's gonna go. It's pretty cool. I'll get to hang out with some of our friends, have kind of a regular date night kind of thing, and also it will give me a chance to reconnect with a very old friend of mine, a friend that I won't say we're estranged. We're not. It's just we don't hang around in the same circles as much nearly anymore. But he was at one point my absolute best friend. The person that was at my elbow. Throughout some of my college career, and he, he even lived in my house along with like seven other punk rockers. But we had some amazing, ridiculous, biography worthy adventures together, and through a common friend, we sort of reconnected, and I'm gonna get to hang out with him every other week. So I'm excited. I think that's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm not one for the bar scene anymore, but the idea of going to one specifically to do this kind of fun event every other week should be. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. My schedule used to be set up the way that I had almost no free time ever. And the sheer concept that I'm doing well enough professionally that I can take some nights off and not be working into the AM every night. It means that things are going well, that things are stepping up in the right direction on multiple fronts. So, yay for that. On the weight loss journey, I am sitting solid at 55. I think I mentioned it in last week's episode, that I just felt like I couldn't quite get past that rounded 50. Like it was just 50 pounds lost was like my hurdle, and like I got stuck on it. It seems like whatever I'm doing, whatever changes I've made have started to kick back up again. Maybe it's the weather. I really don't know how some of this works, the science inside my own body. I just hope that all the little gremlins and fairies that do make all the mechanisms work keep doing that. That's really all I care. But so I for the last couple of days I haven't, there's always some fluctuation when you have a eating plan style based weight loss regimen. And For a while there, I just kept kind of bouncing back and forth between 50, 50, 50, 51, 54, 50, 52, 50, 50, 50, 50. And For the last 2 days, it's been solidly 55, which normally, if it doesn't hop back up, the other direction, it means that I've made some kind of milestone. So, yay for that. I'll let you know when I get to 60, and probably 65, and so forth and so on. Hopefully you'll be able to tell. Only in my face, though, which is actually kind of funny because so I do TikTok, which is almost always just your face. And Obviously my face is mostly on, it's just this kind of the upper shoulders and here for these videos. And In one of the TikToks that I was watching, someone had asked specifically about the consent forms at the gamer table and things, and I commented that, I was like, hey, I did a video on my YouTube channel specifically on this thing, and I walked through the whole form. You should totally take a look at it. And when I went to go do the link to basically say, hey, check out check out this video, I saw my face in that video, and I realized that I have lost enough weight that I can tell. It's the first time that really looking that I feel like I've gotten back to somewhat of my old face. Now if I can just get back to the rest of this not so pear-shaped body, we'd be in good shape. Not good shape, obviously. I'm 44 years old and sedentary and happy. Happy mammals get pudgy. It's a fact. It's a fact. Fact. Yeah, so that's personally things, good things. Game wise, we did not. Did we play Waking Realms last week? Yes, we did. We played Waking Realms last week, and it was mostly Waking Realms is the homebrew game that I play where I'm the cat monk, and it was mostly prep game. We got into a I think it was supposed to be a big drag out fight, but our druid summoned like a bazillion wolves, and we had a couple of very good crits at the right time against where it is becoming apparent that one of the primary kind of bad guys in this part of the adventure are illithids, are mind flayers of various kinds. And we had a couple of very good rounds, couple of very good. Our artificer used a gem to basically summon a big. I almost cursed a large fire elemental, and that thing just did work. And then I sprinted like Chitara across the rooftops and landed on one Mind Flayer guy who had been knocked prone and just did the Liu Kang Mortal Kombat bicycle kick dance on his face. It was a good fight, and then now we had learned that there's some teleporting baddies. Some people have been captured. We've got to get to this other place. Basically, we're trying to save an entire city from illithids. So. Cool hero stuff. Last night played in a Curse of Strahd game. Played in my Curse of Strahd game that it was a crazy session. We're in this weird temple, and it's scary. It's got a bunch of scary fights in it, but we get to this section with a bunch of amber sarcophagi, and from that point forward, the session just got weird. NPCs and player characters alike they're acting weird. They're doing things they shouldn't be able to do. Some of their stats are it's really weird, and unfortunately, because of all that chaos, and we have a lot of very passionate opinionated people in this party, players included. Our next session is probably going to be a lot of arguing, a lot of why did you do this, why did you say yes to this? Why didn't you fight it? And then some of us going, hey, this temple's making people act crazy. Let's not, burn bridges and hurt friendships. Let's fix. Let's just do what we need to do and get out of this place. Um, we'll see. We'll see. It was a good session, and I know that the next session is going to be fantastic. Um, Probably awkward, probably tense, and probably require some hugs afterwards. But it it definitely is going to be a solid session. Work wise, the giant Power Rangers book that I'm working on right now is almost done. Hopefully, in the next couple of days, I'll be wrapping that up to start on the next project for Essence 20, which that's going to be a good project. I mean, I say that about all of them, but there every once in a while something comes up that I go, this is going to be important. Like, this is going to be an important book for us to have. And on top of that, just got done wrapping up that stuff for the Dungeon in the Box guys, which they told me it is primarily going out to Kickstarter backers, but when it becomes available as something that anybody can get at or use or anything like that, I will have the link, so I'll set you guys up and let you guys know where to find this stuff. Let's see what else. Still waiting on some. So I mentioned last week the commercial painting gig that I got for miniatures. Still waiting on the miniatures for that. I know that there were some communications issues and things, and it's not really going to hurt my progress as far as, like, deadlines and stuff goes. Basically, what I'm going to have to do is once I get done with the Power Rangers book, I'm just going to have to take a day or two and just smash them out and get them done and sent off to wherever they need to get sent off to. But and then I still have a commission from a private client that I need to get cracking on as well. But he's not a deadline, so he basically just sends me stuff and goes, when you get a chance. But the working on Warzone lore, still super excited for that. I know here in just, honestly, a little over a month. Yeah, a little over a month. We've got Adepticon and GaryCon. So GaryCon, I am actually specifically going to do work to do. If you are attending GaryCon, I know events are going to start opening up here pretty soon for people to get to. I've got 2 Spelljammer events. If you are going to GaryCon, you should totally try and hop into one of the Spelljammer events. I'm super excited about that. There is a very cool thing that's happening on that Saturday on GaryCon's live stream, their Twitch channel, that I can't talk about because it's not. It is set in very loose stone. If that makes any sense. Luke told me that it's going to happen. We're just trying to figure out who all is going to be involved. But I'm super jazzed by that. I wanted to do this for a long time, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then I think because I run my games. My games are on Friday, and I think Sunday, probably Sunday morning, I am going to head down to Adepticon, because Adepticon and GaryCon are right next to each other, like an hour apart. I am going to drive down to Adepticon because I've got meetings and stuff, and I want to meet. There's a bunch of the Warzone Eternal team that's going to be there, and we want to get together to talk. And I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited because that game is going to be so great, and is getting so close. Like, I don't want to put words in Alex's mouth, in Resnova's mouth, but we are so close to that thing being ready to, pop it open and look and have people go, check out what we're doing. I know people have known about it a long time, and COVID made things super weird as far as like timing and stuff like that. But I really do. Yeah, I understand that Warzone and Warzone Resurrection and the old version of Warzones, they all had very specific, very specific, and very rabid audiences. I've learned that there's some very very set in their ways audiences of some of the older games. I am eager to try and to have those players who are already in love with the universe try the new game and go and hopefully, I mean, again, you never, tastes vary from person to person, but if they already love the universe, they're already one step away from going, okay, cool, this new game is what I'm gonna play. And I am really really hoping that Warzone Eternal grabs those people, not even just for financial reasons, not for Resnova to become this big minis company or anything, but specifically um, to make sure that people get that feeling, that itch to scratch. And also, it's one of the things about gamers, especially the gamers on the internet, is it's very easy for someone to grab a negative review and run with it, even if they never played. They never have looked at looked at the rules and go, bah, I want people, hopefully, because a lot of these old fans have already got models that they can proxy. They might not buy into the Kickstarter yet, or maybe when they get the PDF version of the rule book or whatever, they can start playing with their old models until the new models get there. My hope is that people will get a chance to see the design aspect of the game, get a reason, get something on the table, and go, okay, I can see where this is going, and this is going to be cool. So that we're close, and it's going to be awesome. I think that's it as far as work stuff goes. I can't think of anything else that I'm doing. I agreed to a long-term side gig with my buddies over at Curse and Empire. Or technically, the company is Spartans Unleashed, but the game is Curse and Empire. I'm going to be doing an adventure for them for their new role-playing game system, which is awesome. The owner and I are really good friends, and he reached out to me the other day while my wife and I were sitting there watching TV, and he basically was like, I want to do an adventure based in this section of our world, and you fleshed most of that out. You are the perfect person for this. Are you available? And I was like, well, right now, definitely not. And he's like, won't even be due until Christmas. So I've got a lot of time to start thinking of bullet points and notes and things on that. But he did announce, he did show off to everybody that they are doing a third edition of the Curse and Empires role-playing game. And it is his own system, just like before, but it is different. It's a different system than the original. So the shift from second edition to third edition is going to be a big one. And so that, which is a double-edged sword, in my opinion, because old fans of the old game, fans of the old system. Now, mind you, it hasn't had a release for the second edition of the revised Curse and Empire system 15 years, 12 years, probably closer to 15. And what that means is that the old players are eager for any kind of release, but they have probably moved on to other things, and it's been a long enough time that new players don't even know that it ever existed. So the best thing to do here is that this is the time to do a complete fresh start, and that means that the new person, these new players, they will have a chance from the ground floor to go ahead and learn this new system, learn everything as it goes, rather than having to be like, okay. What is all this? So I think it's going to be really solid, and I think it's going to be a fun thing. And when that starts going to Kickstarter, I obviously, if it does, I don't even know if Spartans Unleashed is doing it as a Kickstarter or a straight release. I don't know. But I will keep you guys informed because it's a very, very cool setting, a very, very cool team of people putting it out. And I think anybody who bought the card game that is shipping now, by the way, anybody who is into the card game, they are gonna really enjoy the world that, like, getting a deeper look at the world and the kind of machinations of what that game represents. All right, I think that's is that it? Is that it? Uh, yeah, I think so. I think that's it for me for now. Um, let's get into the meat of the topic. It's actually probably I wasn't going to start this off and saying it was probably gonna be a short day, but I am on deadline crunch. But oh, it is not the only thing. I forgot to tell you uh, one very important thing. I get to introduce you to, uh, pardon the picture. She's in mid weird meow, to our newest member of the family. That would be Nura now, our new kitten. Um, she's adorable, and if you don't know, all of our animals are named after DC characters. Most of them alter egos. Excuse me. And one of my wife's favorite characters from the CW Supergirl show is Dreamer. Dreamer is an awesome character, and she is in the TV show. She is Nia now, but her mother, the original Dreamer, is Nura now. And in the comics, Nura now is the primary Dreamer. And this wonderful little kitty, if you couldn't tell by the picture, is got one blue and one green eye. She's super cute. But for me, even before I made this channel, actually, I think right before I made this channel, um, a a pet of my son's, a cat named Cloud, uh, which if you've seen the meme, you'll know. He Cloud is this cat. That, yeah, the DM cat from the DM cat meme is my cat, Cloud. Well, rather my son's cat. And when my son's grandmother, okay, when my son's grandmother, my former mother-in-law, um, went to move in with my ex-wife and the family, they could not bring Cloud over as a pet. They couldn't bring Cloud home because Connor's mom is extremely allergic to cats. So there was some question about what was going to happen to Cloud. Cloud was an older cat, um, an adult, a former stray, very fat, and we had a cat at the time, and we were like, you know what, Connor shouldn't be without his kitty, so we offered to take this animal in, and we did. We brought Cloud in, and Cloud was a crazy, he was kind of a bully to our other cat, definitely a loaf. Like, when he was someplace, he would just kind of become this giant white puddle of cat, and had a very particular, extremely specific. He had that kind of tomcat, I live outside, smoker's voice. He was like the Tom Waits of cats. And Tomcat weights. Oh, why has no one done that? And unfortunately, after becoming a part of our family for quite a while, he ended up getting into the cabinet under the kitchen sink, and sadly got into, like, drank some floor polish or something that caused him to go into some serious toxic shock. We got him to the vet. We got him cleaned up. We got him, basically, it helped him, like, get through a really hard time, but it did its damage, and about 6 months later we lost him. And he's buried out right outside my window where I can see, and we planted a rose bush over him because we're sentimental like that. But that was a couple of years ago, and this kitty, Nura, it's very sweet and very touching, and if I think too hard on it, I'll probably tear up. Nura has the exact same kind of fur, that white, flat, it's long hair but short hair. It feels the same way as Cloud did. And also, at least for now, because Nura's still a kitten, at least for now, she also has that same Tom Waits meow. And so she doesn't grow out of it. She's very Cloud-like, just way smaller. Like, not, we'd have to feed her raw bacon fat for a year to get her as big as Cloud was. But she's a sweetheart. Right now, as you can tell by the picture, she is living in a very large kennel area. Mostly because we got to really make sure that she's going to be okay with the dogs. Get her a little stronger, a little healthier. Her and the other two cats already get along. They kind of avoid each other, but they do play a little chase. But it hasn't turned into fighting, which is fantastic. But we just want to really kind of make sure that the dogs are more. One of our dogs, the fastest pup alive, Barry Allen, could indeed. He could over exuberantly hurt her because she's so small right now. So we want to give her a couple of weeks of, kind of having her own place, her own segregated place before we pop the lid on that and let everybody live like normal. But so yeah, there we go. We had the opportunity to rescue a little ball of wonderful, and so we did. All right, let's get into the topic now that I'm officially past all that craziness. Valentine's Day. I know technically it's Valentine's Day, but because I don't really celebrate the saint or anything like that, Valentimes is a way for me to enjoy the concept, but not get real deep into things. My wife and I don't ever really buy each other anything for it. Our view has always been, like, I think I got her like a pint of ice cream this year for it. Like, it's not that kind of holiday for us. It is the kind of thing that I get it. It's nice to be reminded, hey, there's people that you love and people that love you. But our view has always been, it's not celebrating anything. It's not like an anniversary, unless it is for you. But it's not, it's not celebrating a moment in time. It's just a day that they're like, hey, love your people. And that has always been weird for us, is because you should be loving your people all year round. You shouldn't need an extra day to specifically go, okay, set aside all the crap, love your people. My Valentine is my Valentine all year round. I don't need a special day. What I do like is discount candy. Okay, I joke. I mean, I don't joke, but I can't really have the discounted candy right now. But it made me think of that there are definitely a few stereotypes out there for gamers in general. A lot of times it's, you hear you see. Yeah, I hate the you see the memes about the about Magic players, and there's always the "in your mother's basement" comment, um, which I did live in my mom's basement and I turned out okay. Shut up. Um, there's always a lot of social stigma, or at least there used to be, about like gamers themselves. Not so much anymore about gaming. Things like the cartoon, the Vox Machina cartoon, the um, Critical Role as a whole, all the different streaming services, the fact that stars like Vin Diesel and Joe Manganiello, these guys, they not just play D&D, but they openly play D&D and tell other people to play D&D. Marvel's real huge. So Deborah Ann Woll from Daredevil, she's a big D&D person. Like, she has run her own adventures. She's run her own videos. You should totally look her up. She's amazing. Um, so yes, gaming has come a long way. It's become way more mainstream. Not even just video games, just like gaming in general. Um, and while there are some people out there that are like, "Rassum frassum, my subculture is now a main culture," meh, be happy. When I was in high school, um, when I was in junior high school, I had friends' parents that were like, "What are you guys doing? Playing that Dungeons and Dragons in the basement?" You know, like one of my best friends couldn't tell his parents, or felt like he couldn't tell his parents, what he was really doing when we went out on weekends and things like that, because he was afraid that they would stop letting him do that. There was the stigma was completely different. And now, it's become a lot more mainstream. It's become a lot more accepted. While I was not a huge fan of the show, Big Bang Theory showed a lot of people that gamers can be gamers. You can live a gamer life and also have a job, and also, now again, I didn't like that show very much because it really did focus on a lot of the social stereotypes that gamers. I really, really wish that show would have had at least one person that was a geek subculture type that was also like a baseball player, or maybe maybe make a point of saying that like that he, like, some guy at their high school reunion or something, he used to be the giant jock, you used to bully us all the time, and now you want to have us over for your D&D game, or whatever. That would have been nice, instead of really just constantly highlighting all of the the negativity. But I digress. Things like that, and then of course, like, it, while I might not be a huge fan of the Critical Role show, I love the people involved, and I love what it did for the industry. It it really did. Like, it hadn't been that long before people were still vilifying Dungeons and Dragons and gamers and comic book nerds, and now you've got things like the MCU, the DCEU, the Critical Role, things like that. Those sorts of things have now become so mainstream and so big, and now, like, there are people who it's now weird to not know about the comic universe. It's weird to, when someone like my kids are in an era that, like, if you don't play video games, you're weird. What do you mean you don't play video games? Whereas, like, my parents, and some of my generation, it was, only the outliers got into the video games, and that has shifted. That has shifted dramatically, and I think that's a huge, a huge boon to our industry. It's a huge boon to people in general. And when I still see some people clinging to that old concept of gamer problems, gamer social problems anyway, it hurts me. I'm not going to get into details, but a whole lot of my relationships over life, throughout life, have been because of gaming in one way, shape, or form. Either I met someone at a game store, or I met somebody at a game, or started dating somebody that I met through one of my gaming friends. Like that. Like that's just it just is what it was. And uh, while I do know that there are definitely still members of the community that are like, you see it on Facebook all the time where someone's like, man, I wish I could meet a gamer girl. Well, the 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 fact of the matter is that there are the it's a wide gamut of individuals now, of different varieties, different, I don't want to use I don't want to use older terms, but like basically the sea, there's a lot of fish in the sea. There's a lot of fish in the sea now, a lot of different fish, and it really does. A day like today about Valentine's. Yeah, and yes, I know Valentine's Day was earlier this week, but that's what this special's about. But it's very much. I think the message here is, and I'm not trying to turn this into a dating site. I'm not trying to turn this, although Tinder for gamers. Sorry. Um, can't believe I just did that. But the view here is that there's so many people that you could reach out and meet if you're able to open yourself up. Even, and I'm not trying to be like, everybody hook up right now. What I'm saying is making friendships, building bridges, creating relationships, strengthening relationships, trying to smash that old concept of the dark troll living in mom's basement, or the guy who just doesn't, that creeper that plays games. Smash those, just destroy those old, toss out those old ideas, and say hi to somebody. Open yourself up to meeting a new friend, and inviting new people to your game table. Go to your local game store and say, hey, are there any games being run that have an open spot? Because I do think, especially, obviously be safe, COVID wise, but because of the last 2 years in this pandemic, and stores shutting down and everybody moving to digital games and things like that, is we are risking further distancing ourselves in our relationships. I know for a fact in the last couple of years, there are friends of mine who I used to get together with on the regs in person that because of life, because of COVID, because of this, that, and the other thing, I don't see as much anymore. And yeah, life happens, but holidays like Valentine's Day, remind me that those relationships are important, and that you really do need to expand and reach out and become open to the concept of the rest of that social landscape, because yeah, there are solo games out there. Just recently worked on one. But gaming, generally speaking, as a whole, is not not the kind of thing that pulls you in. It's the kind of thing that makes you spread yourself out, and you reach out and you make more friends and you extend your circle. And most devoted gamers that I know, their biggest problem is not finding players, it's figuring out which players can be in a game without having 9 people playing in it. Or let's have a board game day, and I'm gonna have to set up 2 tables because there's gonna be multiple people from our circle that show up that may not want to play the same thing, but are also more than what that game can handle, or anything like that. Or you may not want to play an 8 player game of Twilight Imperium because it's going to take you 2 days. Uh, it's it is this time of season. Spring is starting to happen again. Finally, the snow is starting to go away. Um, and we will hopefully get past this whole COVID thing, and we'll get to see more people in person. Conventions will start happening again, and I just really kind of want that Valentine's spirit to keep moving forward, and more people make more friendships, more people find lasting connections of various kinds. Um, that we see more people just in general caring about one another, because that's important to me, and I think that it's important to the next generation, of gamers or otherwise, that they see us interacting, they see us having good friend circles, having healthy relationships with each other, and hopefully they'll emulate that. Hopefully they'll grab onto that and run with it too, um, showing the next generation. I really think that my Valentine's Day wish from me to all of you, is that we remember the reason we play these games, the reason why we get involved with these games, and in the case of people like myself, the reason why we make these games is to better strengthen the good part of our lives, to shine that spotlight on the parts of our lives that we want people to see, that we want people to go, awesome, and not to uncover secrets about each other, and to injure. 10 years ago you said this, and that makes you a bad person. I think it really needs to be about building instead of destroying, and it needs to be something that all of us try and do, because unfortunately we had almost a 2-year stretch that it really has. If I have to be honest, it was almost a 4-year stretch, especially here in America, that we focused very heavily on the me, mine. Doesn't matter about you. Am I okay? And I think that really kind of damaged some of our circles. And I hope, I'm trying not to get negative here. I'm hoping that things pick back up, and that a newer generation of more caring individuals, less judging individuals, more forgiving individuals become what we need for our society to grow and survive. That's what I'm thinking. So, all that being said, I hope you had a fantastic Valentine's Day. Even if you are more traditional, more celebrated more traditionally, and you had that person or persons that you sent your heart-shaped candies to, and enjoyed some romance. I hope that you had a great holiday. I hope that all of that positive energy that you generated flows in and out of you, and to all the people that you touch, figuratively, and hell, literally. Um, I just really want everybody to take this time. You know what? That's your homework for today. That's your homework for this weekend. Aside from liking, sharing, subscribing, and then my normal sign off. But that's the homework. Is I want all of you to say something nice, something honest, not just "that's a cool shirt." Um, did you get an armor class 10? No. Not just that mentality. I want you to um, find someone close to your life, one of your Valentines, and tell them something, some kind of reason. You highlight some kind of reason why they are special in your life. And I'm not saying, profess your undying love to someone. I'm literally saying, be like, hey, you're always there you're always there to listen when I need somebody, or I love that I can always count on you for a smile, or you understand when I'm having a bad day. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So that's your homework, viewers, fans of the nerd. Is find somebody who you have even a tangential relationship with, one of your Valentines, and tell them one of the reasons why they're special. And if even half of you who see this do that, I will feel like I've put a little more positivity out in the universe, which makes me happy. So until then, please, please, please be sure. Oh, also, calamari, if you're listening. Calamari, the person, not the food. I don't talk about food that way. I mean, I do, but all right. Calamari, if you're listening, I still have not received an email to be able to send you your January raffle, comment raffle prize. So email me. Go back to your original comment in episode 126, I think, and my email address is there. Send me an email. I need your address to send stuff to. If you are not Calamari, be sure to put some comments on these February videos, because you're going to get a chance to be part of a future Power Rangers adventure. Everybody, happy Valentine's Day. I know it's a little late, but you know what? I don't care, because it's just a day, and the sentiment can still move forward. And I hope it does. I hope you guys stay safe. I hope that you guys wear a mask in the places you need to wear a mask, and get your vaccinations, get your boosters, all that stuff. I want to kill this pandemic so we can get in person more often. And more than anything, I want you guys to have a good time. And in order to do that, I want you to play some games. We'll see you next week.